And I'm joined now by Washington Post columnist Sally Jenkins, who has written extensively about this controversy. So, Sally, what would be your first question if you had the opportunity to serve in the United States Senate and ask these PGA officials about this pending merger?
My first question would be, was there an open bidding process here before you sold yourself lock, stock, and barrel to the Saudi Public Investment Fund? Why was the Saudi Public Investment Fund the only investor or the only way out of your business predicament? And why were your own players not informed of the negotiations? And furthermore, how does this deal not reduce competition and violate the Clayton Act? So I would actually have quite a lot of questions for them. They pile up.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've, kind of bugged a number of senators about this topic, and it's surprising to me how little they have to say about it. This is what Senator Ron Johnson told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel this week about the Saudis specifically. He said there's just certain realities in the world that whether you like it or not, you have to accept. One of the realities is that I'd rather be a U.S. government and have them be dealing with Saudi Arabia rather than antagonize them and have them go rushing into the arms of our adversaries like China or Russia. Do you think that that is a reasonable argument, particularly when it comes to something like this merger?
Well, yes, but that doesn't really address what's happening here. There's a difference between accepting limited Saudi investment, which lots of American companies do, but most of those companies have a pretty strict limit on how much sovereign money they will accept from foreign governments. I think it's usually around 20%. This is quite different. There's a difference between the Saudi Public Investment Fund investing in Uber. They have to put their money somewhere and invest somewhere. And there's a difference between selling, as Blumenthal called it, a cherished American institution, lock, stock, and barrel, wholesale to this public investment fund. The details of the deal are very murky. How much control the PGA Tour players would maintain over their own destinies, how much leverage this Saudi investment really creates for the Saudi government over this American business. Those are all really interesting and as yet unanswered questions.
And do you agree that the Justice Department should investigate this merger? That's something that both Elizabeth Warren and Ron Wyden are suggesting. They said the PGA LIV deal would make U.S. organizations complicit and force American golfers and their fans to join this complicity in the Saudi regime's latest attempt to sanitize its abuses by pouring funds into major sports league. I mean, is that part of what concerns you here? It's different, as you say, kind of just an investment in something like Uber. This is a very public-facing opportunity for the Saudis to try and present themselves to the world maybe differently than what they actually are.
Yes, and it's also, the PGA Tour has existing deals with sponsors like Federal Express. I mean, there's a bunch of American companies that sponsor the PGA Tour. They have broadcast deals with, our networks. And there's so many questions about what happens to those agreements. And apparently the wording, as far as I can tell from having read it, all of the commercial interests of the PGA Tour would be moved into a new company that the Saudi Public Investment Fund contact, Yasser Al-Rumayyan, would be the chair of. And so you're talking about all of the business of the PGA Tour suddenly moving into this company that is essentially controlled by the Saudi Public Investment Fund. I would add one more thing that I think is why the Justice Department will be looking at this and why other government entities will be looking at this. Sports washing is not just about sort of creating public amnesia. When foreign government money winds up in American companies, it can hobble the State Department in its actions and in drawing certain lines around certain public issues. When there's a lot of American corporate interest or companies that could be potentially damaged by State Department action, that complicates everything. And so, yes, this is a perfectly legitimate and, in fact, very important subject for governmental inquiry.
Okay. Sally Jenkins, who's written brilliantly about this particular topic, we so appreciate you being here with us for this conversation. Thanks again.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.